Here is the video of how to make this hair bow to go on a headband. This hair bow is probably about 2.5 by an inch big, and I'm hoping it'll look super cute as a hair bow or headband. So I have already cut out the 2 pieces of material, or I guess 3. You need 2 3x4 pieces, and then 1 piece 3x6 that it has been ironed. So I ironed down one side just a little bit so that it doesn't fray, and then I iron it into thirds from there. And you'll also need fold over elastic for the headband. Scissors and obviously a hot glue gun. So you take the piece of material that you have, one of the 3x4 pieces, and you fold it lengthwise. So you fold that in half, and then you glue just the corners. I'm careful, but I'm not terribly picky about how perfectly cut each piece is. If they don't match up perfectly, then I'm not stressed about it. As long as it's close enough that it's not going to interfere with the bow. So now the 2 corners are glued, so it looks like that. So what I do is I glue along just the very edge of one corner, and then I take it and fold it up and glue the 2 corners together that were just previously glued. So it looks like that. Then I take the corners, so with it like that, I take this corner, or this edge here, this corner, whatever you want to call it, make it into a point, and then I will fold it up to the edge like that and glue it. At this point you don't need a whole ton of glue, just enough to get things to stick. And then I do the same to the other side. So it's like that on both sides. So now I take the 2 edges here that are open still, corners, edges, whatever you want to call them, and then I will open them up and push them together, keeping this as close to the top of the edges as possible without it sticking out. I like to keep it down just a tiny bit in there so it is covered, and then just kind of squish it in there. Just kind of squish it in there. You want it to stay as close to the middle as possible to get the cute little pucker that the bow makes. And this is where you will want to use more glue. My glue gun is a cheap, crappy old one, so I'm having issues with it. prepared to burn your fingers on this part with the hot glue. Especially when the hot glue gun has been on for an hour. And just squish it together. Okay. Then that's what it looks like. You take this part here on both sides and you just kind of pinch it together so it looks like that. And then you'll glue, just add the glue there along the edges where it's smashed together. The glue a little bit out, and then just pinch it together. And I like to cut off the little strings and stuff that have developed there on the edge. So there's one side, and I'm going to do the other side. Okay, now I have 2 pieces of bow here. I like to look at both sides and decide which side I like the looks of the best. And then that's going to be the front of the bow. And then I take some glue, just add a little bit here along the edge. And then I overlap the pieces just a little bit and glue them together. So now you have the bow. Now to make the middle of the bow. You take the middle piece and then you tie it in a knot. And I cross it over, and so just to make sure that this doesn't go to the front, so you don't want that fold into the front. You want two nice pretty sides. Take it and I twist it under, so I fold it and then twist this under and grab it and then pull it through. So now we have the 2 pretty sides in the front and the folded in the back. Then I take this will be a little big because that way you can just trim off the edges. It's better to have it a little too big and be able to cut it off than have it too short, which I learned the hard way. Then you take the glue, put a little bit here on the front, and glue the knot down in the front. That way it doesn't slip around on you as you wrap the edges around. And that knot stays in the front all pretty. You wrap the edge around, cut off the excess, glue, wrap the edge around. And I'll do the same, cut off the excess. And glue it down. to, on the top part here, how it kind of comes up a little bit from folding it. Just add a little extra glue to get everything to stick down good. And after the glue is dried or cooled a little bit, I will kind of smear it around the edges to seal up those, the edge of the fabric, so that it doesn't fray. So there's your bow. And for the fold over elastic, take a lighter and heat seal the edges. The elastic is about 12 inches, and this little extra piece, which will cover up the edges so it's all pretty, is about just over 1.5 inches. And this is 12 inches. I measured it on my daughter's head. So it fits her head now, since she has such a tiny head. And I take a little bit of glue. Overlap just a little bit. And then take a little bit of glue and glue this little piece that I just wrapped around there where I glued it. Looks like that. And then put a decent amount there on the top of that. And then take the bow and put the back there where the knot is on that spot. Press down 30 seconds to a minute, just long enough for the glue to set and dry. And there's your headband with a cute little bow.